What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is After Review with Peter and Terrell. I'm your host, Peter. And back again is Matt and Terrell. So, boys, we had sports last night. The draft finally here. Terrell, what's your first impressions of everything?
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. It was a little weird, doing the draft virtually, but it all seemed to work out pretty well. The ESPN wanted to do these the heart-warming stories or dig deep into these players' life, which I understand that standpoint, but some of the stuff could have been left for an article to read or something
Nope,
like that.
that's ESPN's MO now. They always play that stuff. They ain't about sports. They're not
The
about
Jordan
sports.
Love thing,
Oh,
did you
yeah.
really need to know about I don't know, it's just a little weird. I don't know if I even want if I was Jordan Love, I want them to broadcast that out. You know what I mean?
I saw him
could've
do a
been put
piece
out.
beforehand with interviews and stuff, so he obviously kind of okayed that at least. They just don't come out of nowhere, I don't think, with this stuff. But
No, I totally agree. They don't come out of nowhere. I just I want to know about Jordan Love, the football player. You know what I mean?
yeah, okay, all right. Other reaction, Matt. Your reactions?
Yeah, man, it was nice to have sports back a little bit. Even though I did see someone on Twitter say that the WNBA draft was last week, so technically sports have been back. Um, yeah, and it was good. You could tell there were some technical difficulties. At one point where I think Trey Wingo was talking and then no one said anything for 15 seconds. I don't know if y'all remember that. And then Roger Goodell looked like a robot trying to pretend to be a human most of the night, so that was pretty hilarious. But
It started so slow too, the draft. I mean, the first pick wasn't
yeah,
until 25 minutes. It did speed up towards the end there, but good God, it
right.
felt like it was taking forever to get this thing going.
Yeah, I felt like the Bengals were kind of milking it. It felt like we all know who you're picking, even though we did. I think that was you that we were talking about Chase Young was going to go number one overall. Someone had him projected. I think Tom McShay and Mel Kiper did the day of, right? Or am I mistaken?
I know he was the number one rated player. I don't think anybody thought he
Yeah.
was gonna. I mean, the president of the Bengals sent a letter to Joe Burrow
Yeah.
on Wednesday, welcome to the
Okay. Yeah.
team.
See, that's what
So
I thought too. I was like, there's no way they're not drafting Joe Burrow. So
yeah,
Yeah, Joe had a hat in it. Sorry, he had a hat in his hand before they even announced the pick.
well, they
okay.
probably
Well,
called. They probably called him.
Oh yeah, I said they called him, but it was that whole thing was kind of weird too, because they would go to the player before they got the pick in, and then you could tell okay, this is possibly the player they're taking, and then later they would come back to the reaction. It was really weird. It was I know it's all set by camera, so you can only do the best you can or whatever, but I don't know, it was a weird mix of not really getting the reaction.
Yeah, and it just what also made it slow. Like I said, there were only 4 trades last night. Nobody was trading first time since 2015. Nobody moved up in the top 10 to go get somebody, and the first 6 picks were chalk for pretty much everybody except maybe the
right.
Giants with Thomas. But we knew they were taking an offensive lineman. I'm not sure people thought Andrew Thomas was the number 1 tackle, but all chalk. And then the Cardinals at 8 were the first surprise pick, I would say,
Yeah.
and some
Which
people.
I don't hate.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also really like a tackle to protect my quarterback because their
I
O-line
know
was
the offensive
horrible
line is
last
bad.
year.
I
Yeah.
don't disagree either way. I don't hate the pick because although I said he might be a bust, I don't hate the pick because the way DJ Jeremiah broke it down was you have his player to 1 week guard Kittle, and then next week be spying Russell Wilson, and then the next week, you know what I mean, doing different things like that.
That's
So
true. That's
I
true.
like the pick from a defensive standpoint. He's a positionless player, and we can use him wherever and however. Especially the NFC West is really tough, and every team does something differently. So every week is a little different. But I think it's a good pick from that standpoint. But I do understand taking a tackle there, Pete. I thought if they weren't going to take a tackle, why not just go ahead and get another receiver and just blow it all up, blow it all
Oh,
out?
going
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Well, there are rumors that
Right?
they're looking to trade Christian Kirk, apparently. That was out there.
Why?
The Cowboys were looking to get him, apparently. I don't know. They want a number 2 receiver and not necessarily a slot guy, maybe. I did find it hilarious, though, Cliff Kingsbury with the big flex on his apartment. I guess it's nice to get a really nice house in Arizona down there, because Jesus.
It's expensive. It's a really nice house. I read an article somewhere, and he was I was listening to podcasts. After his first year, his first couple games, he's what did I get myself into? I just bought this house out here, and he's I'm about to get fired after my first year. 'Cause they got off to a rocky start, but towards the end they were pretty good. So I remember him saying that, and then like I saw the picture of his house, and I'm like, yeah, no wonder he was like, I'm about to sell his house. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough house to sell.
Well, he probably had money in the bank since he didn't spend a damn dime at Texas Tech for his house, his car, pretty much anything. He probably he's just making all that money, with zero expenditures over there at Tech.
Did you see
The guy's got money.
Did you see his outdoor bed? Did anyone see that in that picture?
No, he had a bed outside.
So weird. Yeah, I was like scrolling through Twitter, and this dude I follow, John Milkoff, he posted, he's like, "What a flex" or something like that. And someone goes, "Peep the outdoor bed." And you zoomed into the right. It's just an outdoor king bed. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
That was like my favorite part of the draft. I think was seeing GMs and coaches houses, like their little setup, because there was some you could see. I think someone said you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. And it was like Kingsbury's the guy I tell you not to worry about, and then Zach Taylor, who was in this little room with just the Bengals background put up on a wall. First year head coach, young guy, no money. It was funny.
What was the other? Oh, someone said Mike McCarthy was the ultimate football guy because he has his pins in a plastic Gatorade cup. That's where he holds all his pins. This is the ultimate football guy move.
What'd you say, Terrell? Guy got to stop eating the webcam or something because he looked like he didn't know how to work.
He was so close to it.
As an old guy, he doesn't know how to work technology.
So awkward.
It was funny. Yeah. And then Jerry's on his $250 million super yacht over there like an evil Bond villain or something. Jesus.
Seriously, I'm not getting this Rona. He's smart, man.
He's on lockdown. I like that. They had, I think NFL Network ranked the top 5 draft setups. I mean, Mike Vrabel and his son, I don't know what his sons were doing over there. That was strange.
I bet that household is just it's off the wall, rough housing, just all kind of stuff going on.
I mean, there was a guy sitting on a stool, it looked like a toilet in the background, somebody in a Frozone costume from The Incredibles, and then his one son had a blonde mullet and was wearing Vrabel's Pro Bowl jersey. It was Jesus.
I bet it's just nuts in the house.
I like that.
I bet it would be fun though. I think it was a fun time.
It's a real bro house.
Real bro house. I think his daughter was there too, but yeah. I bet it's just nuts. I bet it's also no nonsense though. None of that bullshit. Dad would beat your ass.
All right, cut that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like that one. And then I saw somebody said, when's PETA gonna come after Mike Zimmer? Because Mike Zimmer was at his ranch compound and he had all the giant elk heads up on the wall over there. When did this big stink coming out at that? I was like, man, that's cool. Just a good old country boy out there.
What I was a little surprised by, I think I saw Andy Reid have a little elliptical or leg press in the back.
Ooh, getting that working. He did have a Hawaiian shirt on though. He's still partying.
I think that's just comfortable for him. But yeah, so I think the setup was cool. Bruce Arians outside, and that's awesome. I didn't.
Oh, good.
I missed the Raiders. I mean, not the Raiders, the Cardinals pick. So I missed Cliff's house. Only reason why I saw it was because Mahomes said he wanted a house like that. So I obviously got an alert because anytime anybody the Chiefs do anything, I somehow get alerted on my phone. But so I saw that. But then I remembered Cliff's a bachelor too. I don't think he's married.
He is. He was dating Holly Saunders for a while there, but I know they split up. So
yeah. I think he's by himself. So he's got a big old house by himself.
Jason Whitlock was like, I bet you 20 Instagram models DM'd him last night hey, I'll spend quarantine with you. That was a real thirst trap right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the players picked. Matt, give me some of your winners from last night.
Okay, man, the top 3 is pretty easy on there. I'd probably go with Jerry Jeudy for the Broncos.
That was a good pick. I like that. I know Terrell's not happy about that.
I think Chase on for the Jaguars. Man, I just feel like some of the ones earlier were just so obvious,
Yeah, it was real chalk.
6, yeah, it's just obviously you're gonna pick them. I think Derek Brown for the Panthers. I know I kind of said earlier. I didn't know about that, but he fell to 7, and I think he was probably the best available at the time. So him. I like Isaiah Simmons, like Charles said earlier. He's so versatile. He can do a lot of different things. I thought the Henry Ruggs pick for the Raiders as the first receiver taken was interesting. I don't know. I'm not going to say that's a winner. I know it's not.
Hey, man. Oakland drafts the fastest guy in the draft for the 18th straight draft. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, they have an identity though. They are fast as what did you say, Terrell? They're gonna give Casey a dose of their own medicine.
Yeah, I was gonna give a piece of their own, like a little taste of their own medicine, which I understand. To come back to that comment about Ruggs and Henry. I mean Henry Ruggs and Jerry Judy. So I called my dad. I was like, oh crap, like we're gonna have to, the Chiefs need to sew the back end up, because like everyone's drafting a receiver in this division, and he's like, yeah, but the quarterbacks can't get them the ball. And I was like, that's a good point. Like the Raiders have Carr, which I think Carr's better than what he's come off to be or people think he is. But also like the Broncos have Drew Lock, so that's gonna have to figure its whole self out too.
That looked good though. The Drew Lock situation did look good last year.
It did look good towards the end of the year, but it's still like a young QB, so like he's got a point there. It's like they still have to figure out how to get these guys the ball. But I think what the division is doing is like, if we're gonna beat Kansas City, we're gonna have to be able to score with them. So I totally makes sense. I'm not surprised by any of these picks or these teams taking receivers at all. So it'll be exciting. I think the Broncos are got something going. They got obviously Courtland Sutherland, Jerry Judy now, and they picked up Melvin Gordon and already Philip Lindsay. So, and with a
Noah
defensive line
Fant at tight end, also good
Noah
defense.
Fant,
They got AJ
yeah.
Boye at corner. They got something cooking.
But they got Big Fangio as their head coach, so I'll be okay.
Yeah. See down. The Chargers aren't necessarily going that way because I thought the Chargers crushed it last night. Herbert didn't have to trade up for Herbert. That's your guy. He's going to sit a year probably behind Tyrod Taylor, actually learn how to play. And then they traded up and got Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma, which is a great fit for that defense. They needed some linebacker help. They got a pretty good defense back there now. They're sewing up all the weak stuff. So if they can get the quarterback thing rolling, the AFC West is very, very scary.
Very scary, yeah. But that's another thing, and this whole like virus still is all these like new guys coming in. I think it helps the Chiefs out because they're returning 20 out of 22 starters. So not much is changing. It's one of my famous sayings: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." So I think that helps a lot. But yeah, you said the division is definitely getting scary, and all about only thing we got going in our favor is that the coaches in this division sometimes just mess it up for their team. They have all the talent in the world and they just screw it up. So luckily they're like that might be our saving grace. But we'll see. But my favorite 3 picks here, going here, I do like you said, I like the Chargers pick with picking up the guy from Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray. Yeah. Kenneth Murray, and then I like your Vikings pick in Justin Jefferson. I really do like that pick. I was hoping the Vikings would screw it up for you a little bit.
Oh my!
Just because you gave the Cowboys so much trash by CeeDee Lamb, but they killed the pick.
Thank you, Philadelphia Eagles, for botching that one. Thank you.
Yeah. You gotta go send Howie Roseman like a gift card or something. And my last pick I really liked was I like the Browns taking a tackle. They needed a tackle. That's a pretty obvious pick there, but I think they got the best tackle in the draft. So for my boy Baker, like someone said, he'll get a fair evaluation.
This is
how
it.
Good he really
this is it. This is it. There's no excuses. You better make the playoffs. I don't care how good your division is. You are stacked.
Yeah. Right. So I like those picks. Yeah, and that's good with me. How about you, Pete?
All right. Big one, typical Baltimore Ravens. I love the Patrick Queen pick for Baltimore. Linebacker, of course he falls to them at 28. I think he was much better than that. Really has helped solidify that defense. We already know what that offense can do, especially if they're going to stick with that pound and ground. You might get in some closer, lower scoring games if they can't get it to work. So I love that pick. Let's see who else. Of course, I was questioning it at first, but the 49ers... with that pick at where are they at 14, trading back one with Tampa Bay, so they picked up extra picks, and then getting Kinlaw from South Carolina. Of course, they got another defensive lineman.
And I'm saying, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, their defensive line is.
Well, no, they're acknowledging we can't win with our offense. Our offense has a ceiling. It's not getting any better, really. Jimmy Garoppolo is this. The only way we're winning a Super Bowl is if our defense is ungodly, and and that's what they're going with, I guess. So
I like it.
I liked that pick a lot. Who else? I liked Judy for Denver not having to trade up. I liked a lot of the teams not having to trade up and getting guys fall to them. So that was my big thing. A couple picks I didn't like, though. We can talk about Can Pete Carroll, first of all, make a normal pick with his first round
Oh my
pick?
gosh, that's what I was about to ask. Why, like, supposedly, like, this guy is like a hidden gem type of deal. So maybe it's like one of those things, like, let's just wait and see type of
So
a
was
feel. But like,
Brashad Penny, and he was like,
he's finally coming on. He's finally coming on though.
yeah, of the running backs taken in that draft though. Oh, he's like the 10th.
Sorry, who's the running back?
Well, that was a 2017 draft, wasn't it?
Yeah. I
With-
just don't off the top of my head.
Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook.
Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Pete Carroll just
Nah.
can't make first round picks. I don't know what this.
And I don't know if it's Pete or Snyder.
It's not. I don't know, man. They always be making these crazy picks. What universe do you live in where you're drafting a defensive player from Texas Tech in the first round? Come on, man. It's Tech.
And they need a.
It's
I
Big
don't know.
12. Yeah, Queen was
Yeah,
sitting on the board though. Patrick Queen
Yeah,
was
no,
sitting on the
because-
board.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. They really like this guy. They were like, from what I heard, they're like, people stopped putting him in mock drafts. Like, we really like this guy. I don't think anybody knows about him. And like, I guess they must have just fell in love. They must have saw some stuff that maybe we didn't see. Maybe we'll have to call some people around the league and see what's going on here. But we'll see what to do with the rest of the draft. I don't know. I think they could easily take Patrick Queen or, I guess all the receivers are gone at that point. But it's just a surprising pick. I don't love that, or I don't love the Falcons pick either.
I knew they were. That was my inside source. They were in love with C.J. Henderson or A.J. Terrell. I heard that, and apparently it was C.J. Henderson, but they wouldn't trade up to go get him because they knew the Jags were going to take him at 9. But I don't know.
Also, the Raiders pick right after, like a pick between that, like 3 picks after that with the guy from Ohio State, Damon Arnetta.
He was flying up people's boards. They said,
Was he?
Yes, flying. He gets undershadowed because he played, next to Okuda, and Okuda is a stud, so you get thrown at a lot more when you have an elite corner. They said he's good. He's definitely one of those Ohio State corners. I knew, my dad told me, look for the Ohio State corner to go high.
Interesting. Okay, we'll see. The Raiders have had they've drafted a lot of corners and they have not panned out. So we'll see. I remember them drafting DJ Hayden back in the day.
New regime, man. We got Mayock. Mayock's crushing it with guys. He picks guys from winning schools. He picks Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State guys.
Okay, we'll see. Kellen Farrell. How'd that work out for him last year?
Hey man, it's 1 year. It's 1 year.
true.
It's 1 year.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible.
Okay, I know, but I'm just saying, like, Mayock he's a guy who came from judging people from their picks, and now he's kind of like falling into that mode just a little bit sometimes with some of his picks. But we'll see.
Well, I think
We'll see.
I was saying the other way. He doesn't listen to what people say, and he takes the guys he wants.
Okay, that too. I can see that standpoint too. He just takes the guys he wants, and everyone does something. Like we're not in the rooms. We're not really watching the film. We're just based off what we saw in college a little bit here and there. And I just think everyone has a reason for why they do things. They have a scheme they're trying to fit, and then what they do. So I think all this will come for tuition. Unfortunately, all of these guys won't be good. Some will bust. Some will be great. Some will be Hall of Famers. Some will be mediocre. And it's just time will tell.
All right, Matt, who flubbed it last night for you?
Man, I was kind of surprised by the Eagles pick with Jalen Reagor.
I had him as the 5th best available receiver at the time he was taken.
Well, because Justin Jefferson was right there.
Jefferson
And then he
was there
picked right after. Yeah.
Jefferson was there. Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State was still there. Mims from Baylor there. T. Higgins from Clemson. I'm sure you're very happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No bias there. CeeDee Lamb was a great pick. I have no bias towards that.
None.
0. I thought the Jordan Love pick for the Packers, very interesting, bold move, especially when they're so far behind offensively, I guess, skill-wise. I mean, they got Devontae Adams, and then it's kind of just a cast of just dudes. And that was very evident when they played the 49ers twice and got dominated twice last year. I think he got outscored 50-0.
Yeah, I heard this stat. The Packers haven't drafted an offensive skill player since Aaron Rodgers in 2005. What in the world? Are you kidding me? You couldn't put a running back or a receiver or a tight end with a top pick for Rodgers. Like, he's one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks ever. I laughed at the pick because I can't wait for Rodgers to be a Viking in 2 years. Just, double Favre it again. Because if I was him, I would demand a trade. I'd be like, okay, We were 13-3, went to the NFC Championship game. You got me 0 help, and you drafted a guy that can't play for 2 to 3 years at least, or can't play with me at all. I'd be like, okay, have fun. Have fun with your new little quarterback. See what you do.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, I mean, clearly they need offensive help, so why not just? I know he's in the latter part of his career, but he still, I don't know, has at least 2 to 3 years, you would assume, of good play left. And
my
yeah,
guess, me being a devil advocate, my one guess is like where the Packers aren't gonna ever be drafting in the top 10 for like the next 2 to 3 years, as long as Rodgers is there. So like my thought was like we got a quarterback here. We get a chance to take one, groom him. Rodgers isn't near done, but we can groom this guy. We really like this guy for when it takes over, so the transition is really smooth. So let's just go ahead and do it now, and then we'll try to figure out the rest later. So I was looking up their second round pick, and they don't have their second round pick until late in the second round. Yeah. So I thought maybe they had a.
How about you make the late pick next year for a quarterback? Draft a receiver this year in the super deep receiver draft. How about
I don't disagree, but I
heard Rodgers was not informed of this pick, that he was not told they were taking a quarterback, like that they were planning to. So this is Matt LaFleur and him's relationship. I would assume is dead. Rodgers is a dickhead. He's going to be a dick to this kid. I feel bad for Jordan Love because it's not his fault. Aaron Rodgers is going to treat him as shitty as Brett Favre treated Rodgers. He's not going to help him at all. And it's going to be a disaster, I think. It's the only thing that brings warmth to my heart that this turns into a bust. Rodgers leaves the Packers because he's pissy, and the Packers are screwed, which warms my heart.
Was Brett a dick to Rodgers?
Yes, they wouldn't even.
He went.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a whole thing.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Brett was a dick to him because Brett still wanted to play. Remember, they forced him to retire, and then he was like, "I'm coming back twice" because he hated the Packers, and they've talked about it. They fixed their relationship now later, but Brett would not help Rodgers at all. Wouldn't talk to him. Wouldn't help him in meetings.
With the organization.
Yeah, because he said, "I still have 4 years left in me," and you're drafting my replacement.
Worst come to worst, this doesn't work out, and Rodgers pulls a Tom Brady where he's like, "Get this guy out of here," like he did Garoppolo, and then Love, they at least get a good pick out of it, and it turns around that way.
Pick, yeah.
You got fat pick. Like,
see, Rodgers buys me as the other way. He doesn't say get this guy out of here. He says get me out of here. I'm gonna go play for somebody else.
Rodgers seems like the type he always like. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't guess what Rodgers really thinks because who knows? But he seems like the type people want to stay in Green Bay. He likes it there.
He's not a Green Bay guy though. Not at all.
I know he's not a Green.
He's a Scotch drinker. He's a high-educated, looks down on people, drink Scotch kind of guy. Green Bay's a blue-collar, drink my beer, eat my cheese town.
He's been there forever though. Like that's his town. Like that's his city. Like you know what I mean?
He ain't gonna let them Brett Favre him and replace him.
It'll come out about how Favre really. I mean, not Favre. Rodgers really feels about it. He'll get asked about it. And he'll answer because Rodgers will answer the truth.
He'll be candid. For sure.
He'll give us a passive aggressive, and then he'll be like, "That's how I really, how I really."
Yeah, his MO is very passive aggressive for sure.
I see him going like, "Well, we didn't really add stuff that can help us win right now. We were 13-3 in the NFC Championship game last year, and I don't think we improved much." It was honestly a great day. I know. Get back to the Vikings. It was a great day for the Vikings. The Lions drafted a corner to replace their best player, who was a corner that they got rid of because they didn't want to pay. The Bears didn't have a first-round pick for Khalil Mack again. That's a win. And then the Packers don't get any better at all. And then the Vikings replaced Stephon Diggs with a receiver I didn't think was going to be there at all at 22. Loved the Justin Jefferson pick. I know I talked about it as one of my dream picks for 25 on Monday. And then we traded back, picked up a 4th and 5th, to get Jeff Gladney, the corner out of TCU, which we would have picked at 25 anyway. So got a lot better, got picks, and the rest of the division did dick. Very good day for me.
Right. Yeah. So you like Big 12 defenders now?
I like a guy that can tackle, though. Gladney, if he can do anything, he can tackle.
That's good.
The knock on Big 12 defenders is they can't tackle, and Gladney can definitely tackle.
That's true.
So I want to ask Pete, because we were obviously texting yesterday about the draft. Have you kind of changed your mind on the CeeDee Lamb pick a little bit? Have you warmed up a little bit on it?
I did say I warmed. I was pretty cold on the pick yesterday because I felt like the Cowboys needed defense. Now it's working out okay, where the Cowboys might be able to get a one of the top 3 safeties, because none of the safeties went off the board in the first round yesterday. Today, So the pick gets better based on what Dallas does the rest of the draft, or it gets
100%.
worse. They lost 6 of their best 8 players on defense. They were already the 18th ranked defense last year. And I text everybody, do you trust – the organization doesn't trust Dak. Let's be frank. They don't trust him. If they did, they'd pay him. They don't want to pay him. Dak wants to be paid. Here's the numbers. I lost a lot of faith in Dak after he blew it last year. There is no excuse for him losing that division last year at all. The Eagles had nobody, and he choked it away. What'd they lose? The last 3 games against inferior competition? Couldn't score the points, couldn't move the ball. So you literally put all your chips in on Dak. I've warmed on the pick because CeeDee Lamb is an elite player, or some say the best. I don't think he's the best receiver. I think Judy is, but he's an elite wide receiver. He is potential to be an elite wide receiver. I think that's an ad for the team, especially in your slot, which you kind of had a weaknesses. But you've pushed all the chips in on Dak. What happens if they go 9-7 and don't make the playoffs next year?
Yeah, see that I was thinking that yesterday and last night and this morning that, if it doesn't work out this season, here's my thing. I think they're setting it up for that Dak has no excuses now. He hasn't had an excuse, but now we got you a new coach, we got you a whole new staff. Oh, and here's a top 2 receiver in this draft.
Maybe maybe that helps with the pay negotiation too, where he's
you know what I'm saying?
hey,
go win games. Yeah, you have no excuse not to win games now. And you didn't have any before, but you damn sure don't now. And I think it's like a make it or break it. Here, we're giving you all of this, and if you can't make it work with this, then we're going to move on. I think that's how this is going to work. That's how I think it's been set up. But right. I don't know. Y'all may have a different. Terrell, I think obviously probably has a different opinion. But
I do have a little different opinion. The whole different head coach staff. Well, Kellen Moore's still there, but the head coach thing is to me doesn't really say we're helping you, Dak. It's just we needed a fresh rebuild as an organization as a whole. So I don't know if that actually helps Dak.
But they went offensive. They went with an offensive guy instead of a defensive guy.
I totally agree, but I just don't know if that new system, sometimes it takes a while. But Kellen Moore's still there, so hopefully the system somewhat stays the same. But I think they draft CeeDee Lamb because they're Dak can get these guys the ball. We can be what the league is turning into. We can be explosive. Maybe we don't need a defense as good. I.e. the Chiefs. The Chiefs have yes, they have Tyrann Mathieu back there and they have Frank Clark and then they have some other pieces, but you probably couldn't tell me who the 2 corners were or who the other safety were, or 2 outside linebackers, or other than we got Chris Jones in the middle, but outside of that, it's just pieces to put in, guys who play really well that we just kind of get by with, bend but don't break. So I think maybe that might be the Cowboys formula here, is that hey, we're gonna have this explosive offense, and I'm not trying to compare Dak to Mahomes. I know that's the next thing that's gonna come after this, but they have they have explosive offense. Maybe they'll have explosive.
So, but Dallas was already the 3rd ranked offense last year, and they went 8-8 last year. Yeah, the 3rd ranked offense. So what CD put you at? The 2nd ranked offense, and your defense got worse. Your defense did not get better in the offseason.
Well, I'm saying there's a blueprint there. I think that's the blueprint. Is hey, maybe we'll give up some points here.
Well, I said they're Green Bay under McCarthy again. Dak's gonna have to score 35 points a week to win with the lack of the defense, because the defense ain't stopping good offenses.
And if Dak should be you know what, I'll do it. I'll score 35 points a week for you, and at the end of this year, give my mother effing money, because that's if I was Dak.
Put you in cap. Yeah, that's Dak's thing.
That'd be my approach. You'd be okay, cool. We're gonna do this. I'll play on the franchise tag. I'm going to light it up, and then after this, let's retalk once I light it up. That's my approach if I'm Dak, and I think that's the Cowboys' approach here. Then, like you said, luckily enough, they've got some safeties left on the board. I think they're going to have to trade up to get them, but I think there's some safeties left that might help in the back end. But I think that's the Cowboys' approach here, and they're
they're all in on this year. Like I said, so if you go 9-7 and don't win the division, or you win the division and get bounced in the first round, what do? You don't have a quarter. Say you don't make the playoffs. You don't have a quarterback now, and your offensive line ain't getting any younger. Zeke ain't getting any younger. It's almost like a rebuild at this point. Unless you have to hedge your entire future to trade up to get a young quarterback, or maybe try and find a veteran somewhere to plug in over Dak.
Jameis. I don't know, Jameis.
You can't turn the ball over that much with no defense.
You're right. He's got LASIK, though. He's good.
I think another thing, too, the reason they pick CeeDee Lamb is
Block Philly, like
Right.
you said.
Block Philly, and then I also saw they had him. He was their number 6 player on the board, and they pick at 17, and he was still sitting there. So I think their thought
Gotcha.
was he's an elite player. He's going to be an elite player, and a lot of people, I know they're all posting like, "Oh, you got Amari, CD, and Zeke Elliott." Michael Gallup's a good wide receiver too. Like, that dude can play.
Yeah, it is.
And so
He had two good wide receivers last year. You still got no tight end, but
Yeah.
let's
I
go.
just think that
It's Dak. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think this new coaching staff on defense. I'm just interested to see how it works out this season because I don't want to just sit there and go, "Oh, it's gonna be same old," because there's so much different. There's a different staff. There's going to be a different approach to offense. You would think. Hopefully, Mike McCarthy's not as conservative as Jason Garrett is.
The only saving grace is the division is a train wreck outside of
Yeah,
Philly.
I was just about to say,
That's what I was gonna say. The Philly, like you take CD Lamb, then Philly like 5 picks later goes like, oh, we're gonna take Jalen Reagor. You're like, okay, yeah, my CD
Cool.
Lamb pick looks
Yeah.
great now because
Yeah.
the division didn't get better. Like they didn't take Justin Jefferson like they should have.
But you're
The division didn't get better.
screwed if Deshaun Jackson is healthy and can play a full season. That Philly, you can't cover that Philly. I mean, Philly goes 2 tight end. You got Rager, you got Alshon Jeffrey still, and then Deshaun Jackson. There's a lot of mismatch there. You're gonna be playing a game in the
Last
40s
year.
with Philly.
What did you
Yeah.
say last night?
Well,
What did you
I
say
think
last
that-
night? Can he catch the ball?
Yeah, Kenny. That is true. Can he catch the ball?
And my thing is, can Carson Wentz stay on the field? Can Alshon stay on the field? And can Deshaun stay on the field?
That's true. But we know Philly
Yeah.
defense is going to be a lockdown now, especially since they fixed that
Yeah.
back end. But yeah, the Giants
Yeah.
and Redskins are dumpster fires currently
For
in
sure.
total rebuild.
Yeah.
So those 4
I'm
wins
telling
you
you
can look
this.
up.
Matt Wentz is gonna be in the field. Wentz is that guy, man. He's gonna be on the field unless you're going to pull him off the field.
Here's the
He's
thing.
gonna
And here's
be
the thing. I like Carson Wentz. It's unfortunate that he plays for the team I dislike the most.
That's
'Cause
true. I do like Carson Wentz.
I like watching Carson play. I truly do. Just not when he's playing the Cowboys.
I like.
Yeah.
All right, let's look. So, Terrell, what'd you think of the Chiefs picks? You like Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I did like that. I like any of the running backs. They could have went with Swift, Clyde, Edwards-Helaire. I don't know. I gotta figure out how to say his name. I think between those two, I like that a lot. The other two don't really catch the ball in the backfield as much, but I really do like this pick. Mahomes likes it, so I like it. Whatever.
Andy Reid said he was Brian Westbrook, which is big praise.
That's all great.
I know.
Yeah.
I like that. Somebody was bashing that pick. So like, why do they need a running back? It's like, you have the best player in football at quarterback. Why do you need a running back? It's like, you see that offense? You see that speed they have? Everybody on the defense is going to be sitting back, and you go out of the shotgun and hand it to a 5'7" bowling ball, the Maurice Jones-Drew comp. Good luck tackling that thing with a head of steam, and you're coming upfield against him. He's 6 yards downfield already. Yeah, just what the Chiefs need, more offense.
Solid comp on the player and also
they better
the name.
Yeah, they better draft all
defense now. We're going defense. Maybe a lineman here.
They have a second-round pick. I didn't know they had a second-round pick. They have a second-round pick. I thought they lost it with the Frank Clark trade, but they must have got it back somehow. But yeah, so yeah, they better go defense. I like the pick. Can we please talk about the experience from with the families we've seen? We saw so much.
Yes, there was a few. There was 3 really good ones, I thought.
Yeah, there's obviously we got the CD Lamb taking the phone from the girlfriend. You guys know more about that. I really somehow I missed that. I didn't see that until everyone texted me about it this morning.
Me either. I saw it on Twitter, but
yeah.
My favorite one is the Jalen Reagor dad trying to hold everyone in the hallway. Like he's like telling them to get back out of the camera as if like he's trying to hide them for some reason, but then like he's like definitely signaling like to get back, so like we know they're there. So I don't know, I was really confused. He's like, you didn't want them to be in a shot, like then why'd you invite them over? Like what's going on? Are you hiding people from us? I don't know. It was just a whole deal. And then like he like did it like multiple times. So I don't know. It was really funny to see. It was really funny to see like all these families and how they went about doing things. They're like get out of the camera and move. So. That was awesome. I think personally, my approach would have been, I'd have went the Joe Burrow approach, mom and dad, and then probably just my sister, and that's it. Like I love my family. We can do a party afterwards or whatever, but like let's just keep it like a minimum, and then
keep it low
everyone's
key.
different.
Keep the optics
Everyone's
right,
different.
Yeah.
How
different.
about Isaiah Wilson? He's crying on the couch. Titans take him at 29, and his girlfriend's trying to console him.
Yeah.
And Mama tells her to move. She ain't moving. Mama throws her off the couch. I don't think Mama was happy he's dating a white girl. I was geeking.
Yeah, she's like, you ain't about to take my son's moment. Get out of the camera.
For
That's
sure.
I see that. I can see my mom saying it right now.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's very interesting. Especially routine going on and everything. Like who was all there? Agents were there. Everyone's there. I knew people would eventually would be there. Like this is an important
Some
day. Like
people. It's not a
some
lot of
people.
people.
It's not like we usually see. We usually see like a house full of people and a party going on. And then like I love when we used to have that live reaction of like the whole family just bouncing up and down. We really didn't get that. Tua's family is like all just like in like a formal setting.
Yeah, they didn't even react when he got drafted. That was so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Actually, cool, really nice house though. I was really
In Bama, I'm sure Nick
Bama.
Saban hooked that up.
Yeah, because I was like, it makes sense not to be in Hawaii at this time because you'd probably be like in the middle of the day, like 2 o'clock at the middle of a draft or something.
Well, Hawaii
random
banned trial. You
time.
can't go to Hawaii anymore. It said nobody allowed on Hawaii. They locked this thing down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to go to Hawaii.
Oh, okay. Well,
Didn't his whole family move to Alabama though?
They did.
I think so because his brother plays for
goes
Alabama.
there.
Yeah, his brother's quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then what was the other one I loved? Was it I think it was Noah Igaboni. I can't even say that. Igmagnoni, the corner.
He didn't raise his. Yeah, that was the one. His dad was like, "Get out of the camera."
His dad was yelling at the mom like, "Get out the camera! Let them see him." It was so funny. Oh, that was a good one too.
So yeah, it's just like that's the last thing you want to have to do is like worry about your family, like just like moving around, being in the camera. That's why you're getting drafted. So I'm like, the less they're there is probably for the better. Like. It's a hard approach to go into because you don't know who really helps you along the way. So you can't like exclude people who've helped you along the way. So I don't really know. But it's always it's the way you go about it. I don't know.
And then last thing on this, I saw JJ Watt tweeted out. He's like, "Do you know how long my mother would have been cleaning our house if she knew national television would have seen the inside of our house?" And I was geeky because my mom is the exact same way. She would have cleaned the house 14 straight days, the entire house, not just the room setup. Even if nobody's over here, we gonna be that clean.
I know, but that's exactly the approach. Is like, like what do you do? Like you just put it in your living room. What if your living room isn't like meant for this, or you got a small living room? Like where do you go and all this other stuff? Yeah, my aunt and mom would have they would have deep cleaned everything. They probably would have set it all up and everything, and been like some couches in there. Possibly brought some couches in if they could have, all kind of stuff. So yeah.
Right.
For those 30 seconds while you're
when they cut into you. So we got rounds 2 and 3 tonight, starting at 7:00 Eastern.
You know what I'm waiting for, Pete? You know what I'm waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
You know who? You know who?
Oh, you sure it's
You
happening?
know.
Are we sure? Are we sure Jalen Hurts happening tonight? Ooh, I like that. There's still a lot of really good players left. Some guys slid.
Sure.
DeAndre Swift, running back Georgia. Xavier McKinney, safe from Alabama. AJ Espinoza, the edge rusher. Zach Bond, the linebacker you talked about, Watton. T. Higgins.
Grant
Yeah.
Delpit. Yeah.
T. Higgins is going to go to a team and be a star. He's going to be the second-round receiver. Him and Michael Pittman are going to be the second-round receiver to actually show out. We're going to talk about this, go back to this draft and be like, all these great receivers, and those two are going to be the ones who are like.
You don't believe in Chenault? My man Chenault from Colorado? Ooh, LaVisca. Ooh.
LaVisca. I like LaVisca too. He's a DeSoto guy. He's from Texas. Which I forget.
Oh my God! Yes, I was just about to say that, Terrell. Go ahead. I know what you're about to say.
I forget a lot of these guys are from Texas. Like when they panned in their house, like C.D. Lamb, Texas guy. J.K. Dobbins, Texas guy. Because they always. Jeff Okuda, Grand Prairie, Texas guy. Like, because they always go.
Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton's a Texas guy. All these guys are just from Texas. I forget because they go. Somehow we can't keep them in the state of Texas, so that's sad.
Yeah. I mean, there's too many good schools here. Hey, man, the SEC also showed out 15 first-round draft picks, broke their own record. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Best conference. I don't want to hear from you Big 10, Big 12 people over there.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mekhi Becton's dad is a unit.
Yes. Like, I know why he's a unit, because his dad's a unit.
Now you see why they worried about him being a cook and cooking that good food.
Okay.
Oof.
That makes a lot more sense now, because I remember hearing about that. I was like, okay, why the hell does that matter? It's just because I feel like sometimes scouts just have something
make stuff up.
About. Yeah,
it's like he likes food more than football. Damn.
Yeah,
like,
and then back when I remember when Eli Apple, not that part where they asked him if he was gay, but the part where they asked like he doesn't know how to cook for himself. Like that was something. that was like a knock on him when he was coming into.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah,
really,
it's ridiculous. Like he's gonna have enough money to pay someone to do that anyway.
Yeah, like,
he's a top 5.
Also, yeah, you're eating at the facility anyway. You're at practice most of the day. You're getting
Yes.
breakfast and lunch over there if you're up at the facility anyway. Who cares? They're taking care of your nutrition.
And I know it's the scouts' job to be hypercritical because that's how they
evaluate people.
You got to turn leave no stone unturned when you're doing that.
For sure. Right. So sometimes it's just aggravating, but I can see why they're a little worried about Kai Beckett. He didn't look 360 yesterday.
No, they said he was good. They showed a proof of weight. They sent in the video they were talking about.
He looked like 320 though.
Yeah.
In that thing, yeah, he didn't look 360. My man is solid, and he's fast.
Hey man,
he's an athlete.
I always like a lineman with good big beefy genetics. Just get some
one quick thing, real quick, and I don't want this to turn the other way because I know this is with you, Pete. So I know how you are. Let's give a little props to Urban Meyer. God knows how to recruit talent and turn talent into NFL prospects. I know what you're gonna say. He didn't play Joe Burrow, all that good stuff, whatever.
Oh, Ohio State people were trying to claim Joe Burrow last night because they had the second and third picks in Young and Okudah. They're like, we had the first 3 picks. Like, stop. A&M does. Kyler Murray threw 3 times as many passes at A&M than Joe Burrow did, and we don't claim Kyler Murray over here at A&M.
No. We definitely don't take. No, we don't claim that.
You don't get Joe Burrow.
We messed that whole thing up. A&M messed that all the way up.
No, I'm saying Urban Meyer recruits good defense. His offense is suspect.
But like, I'm just saying, Urban Meyer knows how to recruit, and he knows what he's doing. Like, let's not get this wrong. He's got obviously.
So
he recruited the top 3 guys.
So he's a bad coach, is what we're saying, that he can't close out these natties.
Maybe. The guy definitely knows how to recruit. He should teach a class on how to recruit.
DBU.
Like, whatever he does, he should teach a class how to recruit. And then I think we got to give credit to Ohio State coaching staff because they're the ones who actually change these guys into what they come in and return them into like NFL prospects.
Larry Johnson's got the easiest pitch, right? Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Chase Young.
Yeah, him and the defensive back guy. I don't know what his name is. We deserve to look up his name. Hold on.
Larry Johnson, easiest pitch. Look what I can do.
Here, it's the Nick Saban defensive pitch for anybody on defense. Right. Here, same thing.
Yeah. Do you want to make money playing football? Here.
Yeah. Kerry Combs. Kerry Combs. He's also the D coordinator. Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit.
You're gonna hate life, but you going to the NFL real quick.
Yeah, you're gonna. So, for sure.
All right, that's going to do it. We'll be back again Tuesday with all the draft recap and stuff we finished. I enjoyed this quick little first round recap that we had. So we'll see y'all then.